Well, hey guys, what's going on? It's Stef here. I hope you've been well. I know I have, and I have something very exciting coming from UPS any moment now. There it is! I got myself the new Equinox 900, so let's whip this out of the box, show you just what it's made of, and run it through some tests today. I am so excited to share this with you, and let's get to it, shall we? And there it is. All right, so let's take a look at what's in the box. We've got a screen protector here, and this is different actually. I mean, not different in terms of what's on there, but this is different in terms of the fact that I received like 50 of these in different languages when I got my Equinox 600 4.5 years ago. And I guess that's not the case with the 700 and 900, but that's fine. It's in English. That works for me. And we have our getting started guide right here. I would suggest highly that you read this 2 or 3 times before you actually go ahead and get out detecting. It's got everything you need just to, well, get started. And all of the features here, especially if you're unfamiliar with an Equinox, you are definitely going to want to look this over before you do anything with it. Okay, so we've got that. All right. And then, of course, your don't be stupid notices, your safety manual right here. Okay, getting down to the actual machine, since this is front and center, let's take a look at this. These are going to be your headphones, and they are very similar to the ones you would have received with the 800 if you do have an 800 or know anybody who has one. So there you go. I believe these are the ML85s if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, I'll put it up on the screen. So we're just going to take this off, fresh and new, and they will never be this clean again, ever. Yep, ML85s. ML obviously standing for Minelab. So these are going to be your wireless headphones. The only drawback of this whole entire setup is it doesn't come with that little wireless module, and I like to use that especially in the summer because it's too darn hot to wear earphones most of the time. Headphones, I mean. But these are fairly light, and if you swing an Equinox, you know what I'm talking about. But they're pretty robust. I like them. We'll keep going. Okay, your little manual here. And I believe you're going to have your charging cable for the headphones in this case. And this case is something I'm going to carry around in my backpack. It is a hard shell if you're unfamiliar with the Equinox, so that's just going to protect them until I get on site wherever that might be. Okay, moving right along, we've got, this is something really special. Okay, now I want to preface this with telling you guys that I actually did have the opportunity to swing the Minelab Manticore, the Beast, at Digstock back in October. I just didn't put out the footage that I had taken because I really didn't find a whole lot, but it was very impressive. And one of the most impressive things about it, you know, not having swung it for very long and not really truly understanding its capabilities quite yet, was the build, okay? This is going to be awesome. Now, as you recall, if you already swing an Equinox, this doesn't bend on your current cuff. This does bend. I mean, it has some give to it, so it's going to be a lot more difficult to crack this or break it, and that's just great. This little button is for adjusting this up and down the shaft to your liking, and then of course we've got this in Velcro per usual, and it's still nice and strong because I don't have any dirt in there yet. So that's positive. We'll slap that on in a minute. Taking a look over to the right here, we've got the 6-inch coil, and this only comes with the 900. If you order a 700, it only comes with the stock 11-inch coil, which is hiding right under here. Okay, so if you have not used an Equinox, or even if you have, but you don't have the 6-inch coil, this is a game changer. This is something great for trashy areas like parks, really cluttered yards, and especially where I am, cellar holes. This is going to pick through nails like nothing else. So really excited to get that out in the field because I actually have not used this one yet. I used the Coiltech 10x5, which by the way, will be compatible with your Equinox 700 or 900. So all of the previous Equinox coils are compatible with the 700 and 900. And I think that's a very thoughtful thing for Minelab to have done. So I'm very happy with that. Let's take a look here. We've got our charging cable. Now, As I understand it, this is going to be the same as what we already know and love, but the magnetization supposedly is improved. You know, because mine has fallen off before, or it didn't charge all the way the night before. You guys have heard those stories, or you've experienced them yourself, but from what I understand from testers and people putting out videos, this is a vast improvement. So that's exciting. Can't wait to see how that goes. All right, and here it is. Oh God, I love the feel of this. And this has the same shaft as the Minelab Manticore, okay? You've got your 2 cam locks here. This will extend very far out. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to show you that in this video unboxing today, but I will have subsequent videos coming out and certainly field testing it, obviously. So what's really nice about this is it's kind of a sticky rubber grip right here. It feels more robust. It's like longer versus fatter. It felt like with the Equinox 600 that I used that this was fatter this way and it wasn't as comfortable in your hand. This, not only is it nice and rubbery and it just feels better in the hand, but the reason being is it has this lip here now. So those little, you know, those 3D printed donuts that you see people putting on, that was so that their hand didn't slide up all the way. Now for me, that's never been a problem. I just, you know, put my thumb on the control box and rest it there. But for some people, that's been a really major concern. So this is nice. Very similar grip to the Manticore. And again, with the Manticore, I was actually using a prototype. It had kind of a ribbed design right here, but I believe the final product is the same handle right here. So that's awesome. Love it. And oh, I can't wait to turn this on. I really want to see the red backlit screen. I know that's really cheesy, but I have to see it because that's so cool. So we've got that, and then we set this aside over here. Take this out, and we are going to be introduced to our new 11-inch coil. Now, oh, it has sticky stuff on it. I don't know what happened there. Anyway. These coil ear mounts are quite robust. They definitely feel different and certainly look different from the ones that you've seen on the 600 and 800. And not to mention, this is now no longer a nut and bolt. It's just the bolt. The nut is actually integrated into the coil, which is a really, really smart design. And I think we're going to see, because of the reinforcements going all the way out here, I don't think we're going to see the same problem with coil ears snapping like we did with the 6 and 800. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go off camera, get this all assembled, and I'll come right back. Okay, now obviously it's not fully put together yet because I still need to attach the coil to the control box. But while I have it condensed like this, I wanted to show you just how small it really is. That is awesome. And you can take this off if you'd like. It'll stick in a backpack, no problem. I just wanted to show you that, and then we'll get back to it in just a second. Okay, one more thing really quick. We're getting there, I promise. I want to show you something that was kind of clever, and I found this out the hard way when I was playing with the Manticore at Digstock. These cam locks, as you can see, these are really nicely built, by the way. I like them better than the Detect Ed shaft that I currently use. Nothing against Detect Ed. I think they make incredible products, but I do actually like this. So we'll see if it stands the test of time. But anyway, you will see eventually a red line. There it is. So you know you've got about 4 to 6 inches left before it completely comes out of the rest of the shaft. So that's another way that this is going to be nice and easy to pack up if you really need to, but otherwise I'm probably just going to collapse it down when I'm traveling from site to site. But just something I wanted to show you. I will get this situated to my liking and come back. Now, really quick before we compare the control panels, this is my 600, that's the new 900. I really want to highlight these coil ears once again. Okay, so you can see that the plastic ends here. All right. Pull over the 900. Look how much further that gets reinforced. Okay. Excellent, excellent design. Let's fire it up. We have our 900 on the left, 600 on the right. Now I do have an 800 so that when we actually go out, do some speed tests and all that, we will actually have a fair comparison, but the 800 that I have is borrowed from a friend of mine, and he really tricked it out and stuff. So just for showing you the actual control panels, I wanted to have more of an apples to apples approach. Now, interestingly, this came, sorry, you can see my reflection. This actually came with a screen protector, okay, already on it, which is nice because those are a pain in the butt to get on, as you know. And this one did not, okay, the 600 and 800 did not, at least when I bought it, come stock with that. So you had to put it on yourself. Sometimes you'd screw it up and have to try to reapply it. So that's a nice touch right off the bat. Let's turn this on. I want to show you actually one more thing first. Now, these buttons, they're rubberized, but they do protrude a little bit, whereas on the 900, they don't, which is just, it has a more premium feel to it. So I thought I would point that out really quick. All right, and I want to show you also the speed at which these turn on. So let me turn on my 600. Can't turn them on at the same time or they will argue. Okay, so you can see, oops, let me turn this way down since we're inside. But you can see the speed at which that turned on, but you guys are probably familiar with that. Watch this. Oops. And you only have to do a really quick tap instead of holding it down. Boom, already on. And, come on. I love that backlit screen. That is so, so, so cool. So just some other differences that I'm noticing right off the bat. The buttons are different. These have a much tougher feel to them, and they're just more clicky, if you will, I guess. They're a little bit more raised than with the 600 and 800 models. I don't know if that's better, worse, right, wrong, or indifferent, but it certainly feels different, and it really has a nice feel to it. So let's see, anything else I wanted to talk about with the control panel? Not really. Obviously, this is a completely different Target ID system. You've probably already seen and heard about the fact that this goes from -19 to 99. Now, the benefit of that is, of course, a lot of people were complaining that when you get, when you're swinging and you get anywhere from like a 12 to an 18 or something, that could really be anything. So with this, you're going to get a lot more diversity in terms of the Target IDs themselves. So that's going to be great for coin shooters. For me as a relic hunter, it didn't really make any difference. I dig it all. But for coin shooters, that's going to be a game changer in and of itself. And speaking of Target IDs, which we're going to get into in a second, it occurred to me I really didn't go through the menu very much at all. So let's run through that really quick. It's very similar to the 800, okay? So, as usual, you've got your detect modes of Park 1 and 2, Field 1 and 2, Beach 1 and 2, and Gold 1 and 2, which is only available on the 800, as you probably know. Okay, and going through our settings, whoops, let me get back to the beginning. We've got our noise cancel, ground balance, volume, long press. We can go in there and adjust the iron or other segments. I know I'm going to bump this all the way down to 1, so I may as well right now. Just like to hear a little bumbling in the background. Oops, sorry. I'm going to long press to get out of that. We've got our threshold. Okay. And then if we long press, we'll change the pitch of that, which I'm demonstrating poorly because we need to actually have that on. Let me just show you where you can actually hear it. Okay, we can change the pitch. All right, a long press. I'm going to get down to 0 so it's not distracting. Okay, we have different target tones here than we did on the 600 and 800. So I'm in Park 1 right now, and the default is 5 tones, but we can do 2 tones, single tone, obviously the 5 tones, all tones. So this is instead of 50 tones, because we had that -9 to 40 VDI scale before, now we can do all tones, which means you're going to get an individual tone that's assigned to -19 to 99. They all have a different tone. That's definitely how I'm going to run this machine. Or depth. Now that's the default for the gold programs. It has some augmentation to it. Probably won't touch on it to speak of in this video, but I did want to show you that. Go back to all tones. And then your discrimination, okay? I run this wide open, and I would suggest you do the same, especially while you're learning it. All right. Of course, we've got our recovery speed, long press, iron bias. All right, so let's get on to those target IDs. So let's get the target ID on some stuff. I've got some targets to the left, mostly coins, and we're just gonna rip through it and show you how they read up. All right, so why don't we start with, sorry for the background noise. It is very difficult to figure out where to film in this house, I just wanna say. We'll start with the pennies back there, or the cents rather. Okay, so let's start with a Zinken. What is this, 2022? Let's see how that rings up. So 62, 63 on that. I have my sensitivity set at 10 right now because we're inside and I just want to get us some target ID numbers. So for that sake, we're going to keep it low. Now we're going to go with a copper penny, or cent rather. Pretty solid, 77 to 79. Let's try a wheat penny. So low 70s on that. I'm going to try a 1902 Indian head cent. Not what I dug. It's just in my coin book. All right, 62, 63. And of course, I have a fatty Indian. I didn't dig this one either, again, just in the coin book. Although it looks like somebody dug it and sold it. I bought it as part of a collection. But anyway, these ring up historically low, like 15 to 16 on the Equinox 600 to 800. So let's see what it does here. Very low, 40, 41. All right, so those are our cents. And now we're going to move on to nickels. I really want to just highlight the difference between a regular nickel, this is, well, regular, versus a war nickel. So this is a buffalo that I did dig, and a war nickel I dug. Now, generally speaking, these will ring up like a 12 to 13 on the 600, 800. This will ring up like a 13, 14. So not much difference, but let's see what the difference is with the 99 or negative 19 to 99 target ID scale. So let's try that buffalo first. Very solid 26. And then our war nickel right here. 32, so that's 6 points of difference versus 1. That's pretty impressive. I like that a lot better. Okay, so let's move on to our silver and clad. We're gonna do dimes first. So right here, I've got a clad dime, and then I've got a mercury dime that I dug. It's a butterface, isn't it? Anyway, let's try that clad dime. $77, $78, and a silver dime. $81, peaking at 82, so a little bit different there. Now let's move on to a clad versus silver quarter. Okay. Got my clad state quarter. Now these ring up a little bit higher than, you know, anything that's pre-2000, but what the hey, we'll try it anyway. And then just to be fancy, my one and only standing Liberty quarter. Why not, right? Why not? So let's try the clad quarter. 88 all day. And the silver quarter. have a lot of difference there. Let's try this again. So 88, and try this again. 89. That's actually really surprising. I will have to check this out in the field to get a better sense of it, because I feel like there should be a bit more of a difference there. But hey, I could be wrong. I'm still new at this. You know, I know this is probably one of the first 900 videos, at least in the United States, so we're gonna learn this together, okay? So there's that. Let's do a silver $50 because that's a beautiful sound. That was my first Walking Liberty half. $95 all day. That should get your blood pumping. Would get mine pumping, that's for sure. And then, just for fun, not like we're ever going to find a lot of these, and I definitely didn't dig this, but it is a Morgan dollar, so we got to try that. 96.97. And hey, why not? Why not, right? Let's go. This will probably ring up around the same, I'm assuming, but yep, 96.97. Okay, so now I want to move on to some coins that maybe aren't your everyday digs, like some early American coinage. Okay, how about we start with this 2-cent piece over here? I'm just curious, frankly. My one and only. All right, it's not show and tell stuff. Nobody cares. Let's check it out. 73, 74. And we've got early American large cents. We've got a matron, a braided hair, which should ring up like a silver quarter probably. Draped bust, which, believe it or not, I did dig this. It just came out in incredible shape. Okay, again, no show and tell, sorry. And we have a 1/2 cent. So let's check out the 1/2 cent first for ha-has. $75, $76 on that. And we will go in date order. The draped bust. Whoops, she's upside down. Draped bust. 84. Now we'll go with a matron. It's a much beefier coin, 88, 89. Last but not least, our braided hair large cent, which I think will ring up the highest. Yeah, 92. So, all right. And now I'll do a couple of early American silvers for you. Okay. We've got a Doug Trime, 1852. That's not really showing up on the camera, but it is a Trime. Now these ring up anywhere from a 14 to a 16 normally, so very different number, 44 to 46 on that. And we have a capped bust half dime. See how that rings up? This was, I remember distinctly, a 2122 on the 600. So I think that's going to be your half real range as well, because that's also a very similar number on the 600 and 800. And what better way to segue into some Spanish silver? So I've got a, let me see, is my half real, 1 real, 2, and an 8. I don't have a 4. Okay, so got our little half real. It does have a weird like alteration. It's got notches in it. I don't know why. Dug this a couple of years ago. So actually high 60s on that. Surprising. Let's try this 1 real. I do recall this was a 26 signal on the 600. $77, $78, you'll never pass that up. How about we look at a 2 real? Okay. 87, 88, these historically ring up like clad quarters on pretty much any machine, from what I understand. This is the only one I've ever dug. It was 2930 on the 600. And last but not least, we've got the big kahuna here. An 8 real. I did not dig this. Let's take a look. Not gonna miss that. It's a screaming 96. And I almost forgot, we've definitely got to go over some British coppers, because that's what I tend to find a lot of out here in New England. And I'm sure a lot of you watching this who live in New England would love to know. So we've got a William and Mary, non-dug. These ring up historically low. So let's check that out. $66, $67. So you'll get a nice surprise in the ground if you dig one of those. We have a pretty wasted King George III. $73. Beautiful King George II, 1739. And that's low 70s as well. Now, because I'm a relic hunter, I also wanted to take a look at some relics. So let's check it out. I've got two musket balls here. One is a 58, one's a 69. So we'll try the 58 first. $51, $52. I can't remember what that rang up. I think it was like a 17 or so. Usually those ring up. This would be anywhere from like a 19 to a 20 or 18 to 20 on the 600 to 800. So we'll see how that compares. Kind of close to 60. Okay, so we're starting to see some of the comparison between the 6 and 800 versus the 700 and 900 for Target IDs. And that's the purpose of this part of the video. Let's move on to something that I think, if I recall correctly, this rang up a 7. I dug it recently, rather. And it's a Tomback button. These are 1700s for those of you who don't know, and they ring up super duper low. So let's see how that rings up on here. 3940. Okay. A little Colonial cufflink. This also rang up quite low, but I don't recall the number. Regardless though, like this is probably one of the lowest numbers I would dig. I do recall that. I know it was a single digit number. Yep. Very, very, very low. Okay, and now let's try a dandy button. I do recall this rang up a 21 on the Equinox 600. Pretty solid 64. Now, what's an honest review video without some trash? Can you tell it's from yesterday? So we have a ring pull with the beaver tail attached, a regular pop top there, shotgun shell, and a smashed 22. I hate those things because I do dig a lot of low conductors to find the good stuff. So we will try this bad boy first. Now we've seen a couple of targets in that desirable range, so still gotta dig those. All right, let's try the pull tab. Now, interestingly, yeah, that's, you know what, that lines up. I was gonna say these usually ring up higher than this, and yeah, no, I'm correct. I'm sorry, I'm getting all turned around. So these are usually about a 15 on the Equinox. These are anywhere from like 16 to 18, something like that. So, okay. Now, our smashed 22. Now again, it's barely detectable because I have the sensitivity at 10, but mid-20s number, kind of to be expected. And good old shotgun shell. We hate these things. Pull tabs of the woods. Wow, that rings up surprisingly low, 17, 18. Huh. Now these do vary. I mean, if you find one from last season or whatever, this could certainly ring twice as high, but it is what it is. Okay, so for the purposes of this test, 1718. Okay, so for obvious reasons, I chose to take this part of the test outside. I've got the 900 in hand. I just did a factory reset, so I'll show you what I'm working with. Park 1. I did not noise cancel yet, but I will. Volume of 20. I may or may not increase that. We'll see. Threshold 0. 5 tones. I'm going to put that in all tones. Okay, recovery speed 4. Iron bias is also going to be at 4. We might open that up, maybe not. This is already going to be a really long video, so let's go ahead and noise cancel. Okay, a little bit faster than the 600, 800, but not a huge difference there. So let's just try, actually, you know what? This is why I'm here. I want to crank the recovery speed. Well, now we'll try that in a minute. Sorry, this is how my brain works. Oh, I didn't even tell you what's on the ground. So we've got a silver dime, silver quarter, silver half, a large cent, tomback button, a fatty Indian, and a cufflink. So anyway. Now that's in half-mast recovery speed because we can go all the way up to 8. So let's see what that sounds like. Now you should never really be swinging that fast, but it's fun for testing purposes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to whip out the other machine I have, my borrowed 800. Thank you again, Matt. And we'll see if we notice any difference. Let's just try this again really quick. I don't expect a huge difference because, you know, the 900 and 800 both have the same top recovery speed of 8, but hey, we have to give it a shot. Okay, now let's try it again. Just so you know, same exact settings. It just sounds muddier. God, you know what? I need to do it again just for my own peace of mind, I swear. I hope this isn't boring to you guys. I suspect it's not, though, if you're considering a 900. Again, I didn't mess with anything. Oh, you know what? It looks like I did do a noise cancel. I don't remember doing that, but okay. So, you know what? Okay, let me do a noise cancel real quick again. Sorry. Okay. Now, I'm actually going to shut this off, and that was the same number we had before. I forgot to noise cancel the other machine, and I want to make this as fair as humanly possible. Okay. Okay, so see what happens. It still sounds muddy to me in comparison to the 900, but we'll go back to it for a second. It'll just help me sleep better at night to know that I did all I could to give you a good review. All right. It really does sound different to me. I don't know about you guys, but that's a noticeable difference. Okay, so I took plenty of targets away, but I also put down a few new ones. So we still have that silver dime, and we've got a nail on either side of it. We're still in Park 1, and we are still in recovery speed of 8. Okay. No problem hearing that. Let's turn on our horseshoe. Oh, it is on. I didn't even realize the iron audio was on. It's just totally not even picking it up. That's awesome. There, now we're starting to hear it, okay? And that's all we're hearing. But there's no good detectorist alive who wouldn't at least do a 90-degree turn. So that came through pretty clear. Go over here, get this Equinox. Again, I'll put the horseshoe on. Just to show you, we are still in recovery speed of 8. Now you could definitely cherry pick that, but I feel like I was getting a bit of a better response with the 900. I'm still hearing it peek through better at this angle. So when they say they have improved the target separation, they're not joking. The proof is in the pudding, guys. I'm really excited because I honestly didn't expect much of an improvement. And we're not going to get too in-depth with anything else in terms of the performance right now. But, oh my God, I am really shocked. Honestly, I'm shocked. And I'm very, very happy. Good job, Minelab. And what the hey, one more test. Okay, so again, I just want to prove I'm not messing with the settings. Still recovery speed of 8. Everything else is the same as what you saw before. Let's give it a run. Why not? Oh, I guess I should mention, I put a nail between everything, so that's why I'm testing this out again. Okay, very quickly, we're going to pick up the other 800, or the other 800, the other Equinox. Still pretty good. Okay, again, very quickly. 900. I think that's a slightly improved response. Overall, very, very, very happy with this because Minelab claimed that there would be better target separation, and I honestly believe that to be true. Without going through all of the modes, we could be here all day. This video, I'm sure, is already approaching 45 minutes to an hour. So that's all we're going to do today until we actually get this out in the field and have some practical, everyday true end user testing. Okay, closing thoughts here, guys. That last test I did really, really sold me on this being a superior machine to the 800. Again, I know I didn't run it through all the paces, all the different detect modes, but again, I don't want to be here too long. I really just want to introduce you to this new machine. I am so thrilled with the build, the carbon fiber shaft, the coil ears especially, the removable arm cuff. I mean, just everything about this screams quality. Bottom line, Minelab listened. Minelab listened, Minelab listened, okay? So everybody complaining about, breaking their coil ears, valid complaint. They listened, they improved it. Everybody who's been buying carbon fiber shafts, which are about $200, Minelab did it. They included it for you. And they included that 6-inch coil with the 900. So that's like, between the two of those things, that's like a $400 value. And this is $200 more expensive than the 800 is right now. The 800 right now is $899. This is $1099. So honestly, dollar to dollar, I really think this is one hell of a deal. And to be honest, I am more impressed than I thought I would be. I thought it would just be a more robust Equinox with a -19 to 99 target ID scale, and that would be all well and good. But I really do think that the target separation is better, and I am so happy that I opted to get this. So also, don't forget that you can pick up one of these at the Digger's Den. That's dddetectors.com. You can reach out to Brian Harvey. You can reach out to me. I'll put my reach info in a pinned comment below. We will have these steadily in stock pretty soon. At least that's what we're hearing from the distributor. So honestly, I really think the value is pretty much dollar for dollar for what you get. $10.99 is a totally appropriate price for this machine. and I cannot wait to get it out in the field. If you guys have any questions or want to see other tests, just let me know, drop me a comment, and yeah, we'll see you next time. I can't wait to get this out in the field.